Hey guys, how's it going? This is Glenn Rolfe. I want to welcome you guys to a possible show I'll be doing. This is kind of like the pilot episode, I guess. I would call it The Horror Shop with Glenn Rolfe. Dun, dun, dun. Maybe I'd have a theme song, maybe I wouldn't, I don't know. Be cool, wouldn't it? Maybe I should come up with one since I have a guitar over here in the corner. Anyways, I wanted to get into this and I thought maybe I could show you guys what I'm reading, what I want to read, talk some books. Hopefully, if this does morph into something bigger, get some interviews. I'd probably do old school since I don't know how to do Skype. I'd probably have people call me and we could talk on the speakerphone and you guys could listen. But yeah, so let's get to it. First off, community news. In the world of horror, especially indie horror, there's a lot of drama going on right now. It's just, I don't have anything to say about any of it except be good to one another because it's all a mess and it's all nasty. Just, if you're a writer, reviewer, just a fan watching, going through Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, or any of these things, social medias, just don't be gross. Don't be inappropriate. Be professional. I don't want to get into any of that stuff. So just be good to one another. My latest book, just so everybody knows, in case you haven't seen it, is Until, I don't know, it's probably backwards for you guys, maybe not. Until Summer Comes Around, 80s nostalgia, 1986 vampires in a small tourist town in Maine, Old Orchard Beach, for those of you who have been here or know of it. It's my favorite place in the world, and I had to write a book there. It's actually the second book I've written there. But yeah, so more social stuff. I recently finished Dear Martin. I bought this a long time ago. It was like in a $5 by the checkout. I said, that looks pretty good. I picked it up, read some stuff about it, and it's out of my horror genre, which I tend to stay mostly in where I'm comfortable, but this was a powerful book. Black Lives Matter movement means a lot to me. I think white privilege is fucked up and all too true, and I know plenty of people. I live in a small town in Maine, and there's plenty of white privilege blind people around here that think there's nothing wrong and black people are free, so what's their problem? But that's because we don't have very many black people up here, so they don't have to answer for any of their ignorance. I wish everyone would check this out. There's also a documentary, I think it's called The 13th, that's on Netflix. It's about the criminal justice system, pretty much. Systemic racism and all these things. Pretty powerful, all powerful stuff. If you could check this book out, read this, you'll realize things are not good. Things are not okay, and hopefully we stay awake this time. This is the Great Awakening, hopefully. Beyond that, I don't really have any news. I want to thank some friends of mine, Brian Keane, who I go to when I feel like my soul is hurting in this writing world. I go to Brian, and Brian is always willing to take a couple minutes out of his time. He's busy. I'm sure he's answering tons of people's questions, and Brian just helped me a little bit, and I realized I needed to take a step back from the business for a little bit and stay out of everyone's way. So sometimes it's healthy to step back. Let's see. Books that I'm currently reading. I just started Tomb of Gods, Brian Moreland. I just did a live interview question Q&A thing with Brian. There he is right there. Look at that handsome devil. Brian Moreland, fantastic writer as well. Dead of Winter, I think that's the name of it. That's Dead of Winter. It's a Wendigo book. Shadow in the Mist. I have it right over here. I should just look. But Shadows in the Mist, Darkness Rising. If you guys haven't read Darkness Rising, and you love anything from the leisure horror books, get Darkness Rising. It's my favorite novella probably of all time. And that's by Brian Moreland. Check that out. I'm also reading in my non-horror Where the Crawdads Sing. This is just awesome. She's definitely a nature woman. Delia Owens, I guess that would be how you pronounce her name. You want something that's just a great story I was yelling. It's one of the books that had me going, no, out loud a couple of times already, and I'm only halfway through it. So, but I'm reading that on my walks, something I like to do, relaxes me. I can totally focus on the book, get lost in the story. Other books on my to be read list. Small Spaces. This is a kid's book by Catherine Arden. Uh-oh, COVID. No, just kidding. That's not a funny joke. This looks like it's going to be good. I'm going to try to get to that this summer. Between the World and Me. I don't know how to say Tanisi. I don't know how to say the first name. Coates. I'm really looking forward to this. My neighbor, who's a good friend of mine and a teacher, lent me that. Saw me reading Dear Martin and said, you should read this. So I'm going to read that next. Next horror book I'm going to read right here, my good friend Todd Kiesling. I call him TK. Devil's Creek. I mean, anyone that loves the band Poison as much as this guy, you know, he loves, his favorite book is The Shining, and his favorite band is Poison. So he's a winner in my book. He might say that he likes Nine Inch Nails and that he hates The Shining or just doesn't think The Shining is that good, but he's lying. I know him better than he knows himself. Todd loves Poison and The Shining. But I'm still going to read Devil's Creek. He actually sent me a copy of this a year and a half ago when he was working on it. I was going to be one of the beta readers. I just never got a chance to dig into it. I think I started and just had too many deadlines to meet on my own. I didn't have time to dive into it. But now I bought the book as soon as it came out from Silver Shamrock Publishing. These guys are doing great things. Ken McKinley, he's awesome. Love dealing with him. Looking forward to that. Let's see, what else? Simone St. James, The Sundown Motel. I'm looking at my book piles underneath this camera here. Those Across the River, Christopher Buhlman. Highway of Tears, which is a nonfiction book about the Native girls that are disappearing, and no one seems to give a shit except for a small group of people, it feels like. And that's a true story, obviously. Sad bullshit story that I'm going to read by Jessica McDiarmid. I can't read her name there, but I'm going to check that out as well. A book that's coming soon. I just bought Paul Tremblay's new book, but it's downstairs, so maybe I'll do another segment with that in there. A book that's coming out in August that I got a chance to read early was Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Caesar. And I've loved Adam's work for the most part for years. Summer Job, Video Night, Tribesman. Those are three amazing, fun horror books. And Clown in a Cornfield, it said it was a young adult novel, and I never thought young adult novels could have swear words and violence, and I just didn't know. I thought you had to, be tame. But so when I saw that it was a young adult novel through a bigger publisher, the publisher I don't know, I'll try to find it later. I thought, oh, what is this going to be? But at the same time, I know Adam. I know how professional he is. I knew he could pull it off. Well, I read it, and it didn't read like a young adult novel to me. It read like anything else I've read by him. It swears, violence, it's all there. It would make a great movie. I think I'm sure he'll find a way, because Adam's very motivated and very good at getting what he goes after. He's a very smart dude that I've underestimated at a time or two in my life, and have learned many lessons from him on what to do better and how to be better. Like I said, guy's a true professional, and Clown in a Cornfield comes out in August. You have to read it. It's awesome. It's going to be one of the top books of the year for sure. Like I said, it says young adult, but don't think that means it's going to be wimpy at all. My latest book is more young adult probably than his. That tells you anything. Read it when you see it, when it comes out. Pre-order it now. I pre-ordered a copy like $13, I think. It's great price, and it's a fantastic book. So, other than that, I also wanted to I'm gonna try to do like a highlight some of my favorite writers out there. This week, I would probably pick, my friend Patrick Lacey. Right, so of Patrick's books, I've got a few more. I've got some on my Kindle. These are probably my favorites so far. Bonesaw is one I don't have. It's from Perpetual Motion Machine Publishing, which is Max and Lori, Max Booth III, MB3 as I call him. They put out Bonesaw, I believe, and that was really fun. Really fun horror. Typical Pat Lacey. Also, this book, Where Stars Won't Shine. These last two of his are on Grindhouse, Carrie's company, Grindhouse Press. Cool logo. These books look great. I think Scott Cole does the covers for these. Scott's a writer himself, and he does great cover work. I mean, look at how cool is that? That's fucking awesome. And this is probably my favorite book by Pat so far. Patrick Lacey just had his first kid with his wife Emily, and congratulations to them, the baby Lacey. I don't know the name of the baby, but they're very happy, and I'm sure Pat and Emily are both feeling like zombies right now. But yeah, do them a favor, help them out, help Pat out. A Voice So Soft. This book is awesome. One of my very favorites, and definitely my favorite by Pat so far. He seems to just get better and better. And get this, Grindhouse Press, A Voice So Soft, Patrick Lacey. Do yourself a favor if you haven't read his stuff. He's got a bit of a Bentley Little feel to some of his work. It reminds me, like, if Bentley Little and Wes Craven were to, like, combine and have a writing baby, it might be Pat, you know. So Wes Craven's style with Bentley Little, it's got some, he goes off the rails a little, but he does it so well. You know, it makes it believable, which is what Bentley Little does. You get into these crazy scenarios, and you're like, what the fuck is happening? How is it? But then you're hooked, and you're in, and you believe it. Pat sells you on it, and he does a great job. So Patrick Lacey, that's my highlight for this week. Before I go, everyone talks about their favorite films or TV shows. I didn't really prepare too much for this, so me and my wife just watched Waco, which is about the David Koresh and the Branch Davidian and the big crazy mess that went down in Waco, Texas, at their little compound. For those of you that don't know, they were considered a cult. He was a religious dude that believed he was a messiah of some sort, and he had a message about the 7 seals, and he also sold guns, I guess, and the ATF decided they needed to go in and find out what he was up to, and instead of just going in and knocking on the door and asking him out and arresting him or whatever, they brought in tanks and everything else. Growing up, I remember seeing it on TV. I remember seeing it on the news when it happened, and I always thought, well, those guys were crazy cult. They went in and had to stop these guys, had guns, and who knows what they were doing to kids there. Well, I guess this miniseries, Waco, which is on Netflix, I believe, it's got Michael Shannon in it, and he's awesome. So you should watch it anyways, because of Michael Shannon. My wife loves him. She finds him attractive, but she doesn't understand why. She thinks it's his talent. Probably, I don't know. Anyways, he does a great job. The whole cast does a great job. It's also got the girl that plays Supergirl, Melissa Benquist, whatever her name is. I'm bad with names, but it's great. And I guess it's based off 2 books. One written by David Thibodeau, who was one of the people who had just joined the Branch Davidian right before this all happened, and he was in the house, and he's one of the survivors. And then the book by Gary, who was played by Michael Shannon, who's the FBI not interrogator, negotiator. They both wrote these books from their perspectives and what they saw, and whoever put this show together, I guess, took from those 2 and kind of gave you both sides. And after seeing the movie, I don't know how much of it was true. I don't know who to believe, but it feels like seeing what we're seeing with the government right now, it was very of the times. It's very much the police having tanks, you know, a police force type having tanks and bringing an army to something that a local cop could have taken care of. So overkill from the police, which is what we're seeing every day now, it seems like. So very pertinent, very of the moment, this movie. Check it out, Waco, Netflix. I think that's it. I think that's all I got to say. Like I said, there's 2 books. I don't have the titles in front of me. Maybe I'll look them up and add them to this. But there's 2 books that made this TV show. So maybe look those books up, read those books. I might do the same. Check the show out. Let me know what you think in the comments, whatever. And yeah, that's sort of the pilot episode of The Horror Shop with Glenn Rolfe. Hopefully you guys dig it. Hopefully we'll do some more of these. Maybe I'll play some songs next time around or something, or talk some more nonsense. Anyways, like I said at the top of the thing, be good to each other. That goes for everybody. Please, please love one another. Love each other. Everybody love everybody. Like Will Ferrell said in Semi-Pro. Everybody love everybody. Yeah, just please be good. Stay positive. Love you guys. Take it easy.